There's a classic comfort food that appeals to almost anyone that's history is as rich as the sauce. This is All Request History, the history of macaroni and cheese. We begin in ancient Europe where the earliest versions of pasta were created. The original dishes were closer to a lasagna-style dish than macaroni, mostly served with meats and vegetables. Noodles, however, became a very simple way to shape and prepare this starch, so it became a popular part of Italy's favorite foods. Often called Itriyya, pasta was made from durum wheat and water. Anyone who has tasted whole wheat pasta now knows the difference. Even if you've never heard of durum wheat, you now know that that's the way they make almost any great pasta. The mixture was used to shape into various forms and simply boiled until tender. In medieval Europe, pasta dishes evolved. By the 14th century, Italian chefs discovered the great combination of pasta with cheese in a dish called di Lasanis. This could be considered the great-grandfather of macaroni and cheese. Question: what's the fastest anyone has ever eaten a box of macaroni and cheese? The answer is coming up. Fast forward to the Renaissance, where pasta and cheese dishes became more refined and popular among Italian nobility. One of the earliest written recipes for macaroni and cheese-like dishes appeared in Italian cookbooks in the 1770s. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, macaroni and cheese made its way to America. Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, is credited with making the dish popular. After discovering macaroni in Europe, he brought back a pasta machine and served macaroni pie at a state dinner in 1802. At the beginning of the 20th century, J.L. Kraft began selling wholesale cheese in Chicago from a pushcart. He and his brothers soon opened a factory to produce their own cheese in 1915. Their popular tins of cheese were favored by the U.S. government and bought in mass amounts to serve to the armed forces serving in World War I. Because cheese was subject to spoiling, it was during this time that Kraft worked diligently to perfect a way to produce a dry cheese powder, making it non-perishable. Once he got it, it now could be packaged, and its shelf life extended tremendously. J.L. Kraft continued his success after the war by creating outstanding products that we still use today, like Velveeta, Philadelphia cream cheese, and Miracle Whip. But in 1937, he used his groundbreaking innovation of dried packaged cheese and introduced the now famous boxed macaroni and cheese dinner. At only 19 cents per box, this affordable, convenient meal quickly became a staple in American households and college dorm rooms all over the world. Simply boil, add a little milk and butter, stir, and well, you know, you've had it. By the way, even in today's ridiculous rising costs of, well, everything, one box of Kraft macaroni and cheese costs about $1.25. Over the years, as you can imagine, this quick, yummy dinner has never not been popular. Today, Kraft literally sells 1 million boxes per day. Now here are some more mac and cheese fun facts. There are over 50 varieties of mac and cheese. In 1993, Crayola added the color macaroni and cheese to their lineup. In Canada, the most popular way to eat mac and cheese is to add ketchup. And speaking of Canada, Kraft macaroni and cheese is considered the unofficial national meal. They call it Kraft Dinner, and they purchase 12% of all boxes sold annually, and they eat 55% more on average than Americans do. And oh, by the way, happy Mac and Cheese Day! July 14th is National Mac and Cheese Day in America. Now, to answer our earlier question, the record for eating an entire box of macaroni and cheese is 1 minute and 2 seconds. The most mac and cheese ever eaten in one sitting? Well, no surprise here. Our friend Joey Chestnut in 2023 ate 15 pounds of mac and cheese in 5 minutes. And lastly, experts say mac and cheese is best served with white wine. Now this is interesting. Was Kraft behind the Great Macaroni Mystery? Well, here's what happened. In the middle of the night, in November 2011, a giant cheesy noodle sculpture appeared in Philadelphia's Love Park. The sculpture appeared in the morning daylight with the slogan, "You know you love it," printed on the side. There were no signs of Kraft logo anywhere, no logos at all. And Kraft headquarters refuses to comment on the origins of the mystery statue to this day. There are mac and cheese festivals, eating contests, taste contests. I mean, who doesn't boast that grandma or their mother or their aunt or uncle have the best macaroni cheese recipe in the world? So Kraft is not the only one making it. According to food critic Brian Francis, the worst tasting macaroni and cheese is Annie's Vegan Mac. Some other brands that you may want to avoid are Bachelor's Mac and Cheese Bag, KD Simply, which is actually made by Kraft, but it's made with cauliflower pasta, and who likes that? Muscle Mac is high in protein, but according to Brian, it's very low in flavor. And ironically, the best mac and cheese on Brian's list is made by the same brand that makes the worst, Annie's. This time it's Annie's Aged Mac and Cheese. Now, if you're not a fan of your mac and cheese as a shell instead of an elbow, then this one is not for you. Now, of course, you can get macaroni and cheese at a lot more places than your own kitchen from a box. And in recent years, macaroni and cheese has undergone a gourmet transformation. Chefs and home cooks alike have elevated this humble dish with artisan cheeses, truffle oil, and creative toppings. In fact, there's a restaurant in Santa Monica, California called Melis, where chef Josane Citrin serves white truffle mac and cheese at $130 per plate. I don't think the white wine comes with free refills, though. So from Santa Monica to Chicago, and from food trucks to your own kitchen, mac and cheese continues to evolve and delight taste buds around the world.